Good morning. You'll probably watch this in the afternoon or at evening. Man, somebody asked me to talk about this, and this is a tough subject. Subject. It's a tough subject. It's the comment of "I'm fine." And Molly Fiore, I wanted to point you out in this. This was your question. And what do you do when somebody says "I'm fine"? Um, the number one or one of the biggest lies that people tell, if you look it up here, is that I'm fine. It's fine. It's okay, right? And we don't dig further. And so I wanted to talk about this is what happens when somebody says I'm fine? What's going on for them? The biggest thing that I've found here, and I've done some research because honestly I didn't know the answer on this, and so I wanted to dig deep and try and dive into how do you respond to "I'm fine." How many times have you said that to somebody? How many times have you heard that? And you don't go any further. It's almost like a wall goes up. I'm fine. Wall goes up, and we don't address it any further. You know what? I'm fine. It's fine. Don't worry about it. But there's something behind it. It's almost like the tip of an iceberg. It's like "I'm fine" is just the point of I'm not fine. Things are a mess. I'm not feeling good. My life's not going the way I want it to, and I don't know what to do about it. And if I tell you, what are you going to do about it? Likely you're not going to have the answers. A lot of times if somebody says "I'm fine," what we'll do is we'll back off and we won't say anything further because honestly, we don't know what to say. What happens if we say "I'm fine" and we push and that person comes back and says, "Well, dude, I'm really suffering. I'm having a hard time. In my case, I just went through a divorce, or my best friend just died, or, I have some guys at work." And what happens is we go into this idea that you need to be stoic. So you can feel your pain, that's fine. Just don't let us know about it. Nobody wants to hear it, kind of a thing. Oh, it's those damn phones. It's because you're on your phone all the time. The last thing a person wants to hear when they say "I'm fine" is any judgment about them not being fine. And so "I'm fine" as a guard to keep you kind of at bay so that you don't ask further questions. And most of us don't. We're not going to say anything further than that because it can be uncomfortable to have that conversation for a lot of people. And so, I don't know, as I think about this, suicide rates in the U.S. are substantial. I think 45,000 people a year take their own lives. And a lot of those have probably said, "I'm fine. I'm fine. Don't worry about it." Well, the thing is that we could show some empathy for people and dig a little deeper. And the way to do that is just demonstrate that they matter. People want to know that they're accepted, that they matter, that their being here in this world means something, that they're not just wasting space. If somebody says "I'm fine," really hear it. I'll have customers or people walk in my office. I'll say, "Hey, how are you?" It's almost like a "what's up," and in some cases I don't want to know what's beyond that. It's, "Hey, what's up?" Nothing, no big deal. I don't want to go further. But there will be times where I just see somebody and they'll say "I'm fine," and the way they say it indicates that there's something deeper. And I'll say something like, "Wow, you got to sell me on that. That didn't sound very convincing. What's going on?" And I want to ask a little deeper, like, what's going on for you? And truly listen, and listen to them in a way that has them be heard. Carl Rogers, on Becoming Human, he's probably one of the originals that talked about helping people talk through their challenges, because in talking through their challenges, they find their own solutions. But being able to have somebody to talk to that's a neutral ear, that's not going to judge them, is such a huge thing for people. I'll have people come into my office, and I'm a finance manager. When I'm at work, I'm not a therapist, but man, I might as well put up a sign, because people will come in there and they'll sit, they'll tell me their challenges, and we'll go through it, and I'll just hear them, and I'll say, "I'm sorry, that sounds really hard. I'm sorry you're going through that." And it's a different response for them. A lot of them are just grateful to have somebody that just heard them And how many times have you wanted somebody to just hear you? That when they say, I'm fine, that you hear beyond that, that you can empathize. Man, I know what that feels like to be fine and not be fine. There will be cases where they're just fine and they're fine, right? And you have to accept that. But you got to look at the energy behind the fine, or hear the energy behind the fine. You know, somebody's like, I'm fine. You know, it's different from I'm fine. Things are good. Yeah. Even comments like that. Yeah, things are good. Like they're trying to convince you. Yeah, things are great. Yeah, I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm fine. Yeah. It's like, no, you're not. You want to tell me? And ask further. That's the thing, is we take the I'm fine and we don't want to face it because we don't know what to do with it. And so we take it at face value. And if we dig just a little deeper, then that person might open up and share what's going on. And when they do, don't try and fix them. Don't try and coach them. Don't try and tell them what they're doing wrong or how they could change it. That's not what they're trying to do. They don't want that. What they want to be is heard. They want somebody to listen to them on a level that they haven't been listened to before. You know, I think of my kids, and one thing is that sometimes they don't want to talk to me. And so what I'll do is I'll say, hey, I just want you to know that we don't have to talk, but if you ever want to, just know I'm open to that. And it's just an open invitation that if they want to open up, that they can. And sometimes they choose not to. And sometimes they're really closed. But we'll go for a drive or something, and my kids will open up and they'll just start telling me everything. It's amazing. And I just hold space for that. Whatever they want to talk about, they can talk about without judgment and without me having to coach them and be the dad and tell them how to do their life, right? They don't want to. They're trying to figure it out. Life can be pretty challenging. And so they want somebody to empathize with them so that they can figure it out themselves and go get back after it. If we're harsh, if we're stoic, like, hey, just deal with your pain, don't let me know about it. That's not fair. That's where it causes additional damage, where people want to take their lives. I ask my kids, and I check in with my kids regularly around suicide. I'll ask them, are you thinking about committing suicide? Somebody, a friend of mine whose son did commit suicide, she said, if you take it even a step further and ask, do you have plans to commit suicide? Is even a stronger question. If you ask, are you thinking of committing suicide? There's an 80% reduction in suicide rates by asking that question. And if you take it even further and say, do you have plans to commit suicide? That takes that number even higher. So fewer people are killing themselves. Just be empathetic. Don't be an asshole to people. We all have our struggles. People just want to be heard. So when somebody says, I'm fine, dig a little deeper. Just ask them, are you fine? So you're fine. So you're good? Just check. Are you good? What's going on? I hear something behind that. What's going on? And listen. Just listen. Be there for them. Be a support for them. And that might be the thing that changes their day. So when you hear I'm fine, one of the biggest lies that we say in the English language, dig a little deeper and just listen. I hope that helps. Maybe somebody watching this video is in a space where they need that today, and they can take that out there and put that into practice. What do you do? Comment in the video or below and just tell me, what is your response to I'm fine? And one final thing here is one thing I started doing is changing what I say when people ask me how I'm doing. Sometimes I'll say I'm fine. Sometimes I'll say good enough, which really throws them off. How are you doing? Oh, I'm good enough. Or I'm okay, or I'm great. I want to make sure that what I'm saying on the outside reflects what I'm feeling on the inside, not mask that. So for others, to help them be around me, I make sure that what I say on the outside about how I'm doing aligns with who I am on the inside. So that might be something to help you as well. Hope you guys create a great day, and I will talk to you on the next video.